What's up, sneaker fans? Thanks for tuning in to another More Than Hype unboxing and review. If you're new to the channel, I want to personally welcome you. If you'd like to see more sneaker related content, I invite you to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo in the bottom right corner of the video. Now, I got some good reactions from my last video of the Castle Rock colorway of the 327, so I'm excited to today bring you both OG colorways of this shoe to compare, contrast, talk a little bit about its history, and my thoughts on the two silhouettes. Let's get right into it, starting with the packaging. Now, same gray New Balance box for both of these, MB logo on top. Let's take a look at the size tags. So I did get a size 8.5 in both of these, and I find they are true to size. In something like the 574, I also wear a size 8.5, so I got that size here, and they fit me perfectly. Taking a close look at the size tag on this one on the right, they're both MS327, except this one is CLA, and this is the orange pair, and this one is MS327 CLB, which is the blue pair. So easy to remember, A for orange, B for blue, and moving right along. Now, as you can see, my table isn't big enough to unbox both of these at the same time. So let's start with the CLA colorway, and we'll just put the CLBs on the side for now. Okay, so first impressions, a really lightweight pair of shoes. This could be a summer or autumn shoe in my opinion. I think it could go both ways just because of the colors as well as the materials. For $90 retail, you get a lot of shoe for your money. But let's take a closer look at the shoe, starting with the upper. Now, in my opinion, one reason why this shoe got the attention it got was because of its retro styling, namely the paneling design. You got these really nice suede overlays on the eyelets, on the toe box, as well as on the heel. What I really like about these is they look like a shoe that could have been released in the 80s, but in reality, these were released 40 years later in 2020. As an example, Jordan 1s released in 1985, and people are still going crazy for those. So I think that really speaks to the resilience of this style of shoe. And I think New Balance and this shoe's designer, Charlotte Lee, did a really great job on the shoe. I'll plug her Instagram right here. If you're into shoe design, check her page out. She posts some of her sketches of the early design process for the 327s, and those are just interesting to look at. You get an all-white tongue, plus a blue New Balance tag up top. On the inside, the lining is all white, blue New Balance logo on the insole. That is in just an Ortholite insole, nothing too special. You do get a bit of cushioning from the EVA midsole here. And these are a comfy shoe, I think due in part to how big the platform is. So a really strange outsole shape. And when we look at the shoe from the top down, we can really see on the forefoot how pronounced these areas that jut out are, and even in the heels. But that brings us to the outsole, which is done up in a nice medium brown gum color. It really complements and wraps together the yellow and orange upper really well, especially from these angles here where they kind of meet the upper here on the heel as well as on the toes. I think that's just a really cool look. Now, another reason I really like these is the heritage angle New Balance took when designing the colorways of the shoes, which brings us to this vintage ad from the Deafest. So, from 1978, the New Balance Super Comp, and right away you can see where the inspiration for this shoe and the colorway came from. At first I thought it was a bit odd that we had this complete orange, yellow upper with a blue logo tag on the tongue, but we can see now that was just New Balance staying true to its retro colorway. And as far as laces go, you do get an extra set of white laces with this pair if you want to go full OG. Next, let's take a look at the CLB or marine blue colorway. So, first impressions, as far as materials go, they feel identical on both pairs. So if that's a reason you're torn on which pair to get whichever you like more. Polyester mesh base, nice suede overlays, and this also retails for $90. But let's take a closer look at the upper. Now, of the two, in my opinion, this is definitely the louder pair. Just the contrast of the yellow and blue does it for me, but I also really like the colorway. You'll get the same blue color on all the suede overlays from the eyelets to the toe box to the heel. This yellow oversized N logo is printed into the fabric and just looks really sharp. You also get a white tongue here, and I think the blue NB logo makes a little bit more sense within the full aesthetic of the colorway. Inside you get the same white lining as well as the same Ortholite insole with that NB logo in blue. Now for the midsole, you get this really nice yellow. Actually, something about the color of the midsole masks the weird shape of the midsole itself. Like how this portion of the forefoot kind of juts out a little bit. It's a little bit less noticeable to me in this color. It doesn't 100% match the shade of the oversized N logo on the fabric upper, maybe 1 or 2 shades darker. It's not an egregious difference in color, so it doesn't really stick out. No complaints from me, especially on feet. And that brings us to the outsole. Now in black, I think this rugged, trail-inspired outsole looks really slick, especially on the places where it shows itself off on the upper. It's a little bit more subdued, looks sleeker atop this marine blue overlay on the toe as well as on the heel here. And you guessed it, this colorway is also inspired by a popular vintage model. In this case, it's the Trail 355. Now again, from thedefis.com, we have this vintage ad. Now we can really see the resemblance here. Everything from the toe box to the outsole, the midsole colors are on point. And just like the vintage, you can also put white laces on this pair as well. Again, a lot of history mashed up with the inspiration of the design itself and the colorway of the shoe. And I just think it's really thoughtful and a great look for New Balance to be celebrating their heritage through this new silhouette. So to wrap up this video, I really love the retro styling and heritage approach New Balance took to choosing the colorways of these shoes. One thing I think the shoe will really do is grab the attention of people who aren't that familiar with New Balance. I'll admit, before I started really getting into New Balances, all the silhouettes looked the same. And that was an unfair criticism because I just wasn't familiar with the brand. Like a lot of you, I started collecting sneakers and really getting into sneaker culture through Nikes and Jordans. And really early on, I'd often mix up Dunk Highs and Jordan 1s because I was new and I couldn't recognize the subtle differences. Same goes for New Balance and the subtle differences across the lifestyle line. So this different direction that New Balance is going in, the style radically different from anything else they have in their lineup, I think will catch the attention of a lot of people who aren't into New Balances. And for those of you interested in getting a pair of these, I'll leave links in the description on places where I find they're still in stock. And that brings us to the end of this review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more sneaker related content, and I'll see you on the next video.